off already? There he did. Okay. Well, that's a shame. The senator has been a great supporter of mine from the time I first ran for office. When I first ran for state representative many years ago. And a lot of people didn't think a guy from Central Illinois, the Republican area, had much of a chance of winning. But he's a guy who didn't care just about himself. He clearly cares about people in the state, and he realizes we're going to grow and improve the state by helping out others. He helped me, and when I lost that race, he wrote me a handwritten note saying that I lost 3 races before I won the first time. And that's a large reason why I stood with this. And so it's with heavy heart that I speak behind him, because I like being near Senator Durbin, but he's a tough act to follow. It really is a pleasure to be here in Kane County. I love seeing the work that Mark Gately and all of you Democrats are doing to turn this county Democratic. You know, I don't think it's always been that way. But you sent some good people off to Springfield, people like my colleague Linda Holmes here. My colleague Mike Nolan in north of this county. Okay, the state representatives like Linda Chapel-Lavia and Stephanie Kickwick. We appreciate the quality of people you send down to Springfield. And I know that doesn't happen. You've got some good people here, but it doesn't happen by themselves. It happens because there are good Democrats like you working for them. When I decided to move back home to Champaign County, our county board had been run by Republicans as long as there had been a county board. But we got together, we organized. And we worked with organized labor and ran a united campaign that took control of the county board of Democrats for the first time ever. And that happened because, not because of the candidates, but because of people like you who get out and work for us. And so thank you very much for all you do for the Kane County Democratic Party. Now, I'm running for state treasurer and I'm running as a Democrat, even though I come from an area that's fairly Republican. My mom's family is fairly Republican. On my dad's side, when hearing Senator Durbin talk about the value of labor, what Democrats have done to help support the middle class and working people, is why I run as a Democrat. You know, my grandfather grew up in the Depression on a farm. They didn't have electricity. And the big companies out there said, we're not going to bother running wire out to those rural areas. We can't make enough money off it. But it was FDR and Democrats in Congress who said, we're not leaving any Americans behind. And they pushed rural electrification. It improved his life, it improved productivity for people in this country, and he voted Democrat because of it. And my dad grew up in that farm, but there wasn't enough land for him to work the land as well. And so he started driving a truck and he joined a union. He became a Teamster. It was because Democrats and organized labor worked to have better quality of living, better wages and weekends. He was able to raise his family and give me opportunities that other people who before me wouldn't have had. He never forgot that, and that's why he voted Democrat. When it came time for me to go to college, we didn't think I could necessarily afford it. But because Democrats before me had gone out, and they had worked to produce things like Pell Grants and federally guaranteed student loans, I had opportunities that the son of a truck driver a few generations before might not have had. And that's why I run as a Democrat. And I'm running for state treasurer because I think if we take some of those lessons and we invest in all corners of the state, we invest in infrastructure in the state, we can not only make money for the state, but we can put people to work here in Illinois, not in Texas, not in China, not overseas. If we use the power of our investments to invest in companies that are employing people here in the state, and not rewarding companies that offshore jobs, we're going to grow a higher quality workforce here, high quality workers. That's a wise investment we should be making here in Illinois. And we believe that the future is in education. As our young people, the state treasurer who's in charge of the state's college savings plans should fight to drive down the costs and fees associated. So that when you're taking money out of your paycheck to give some better opportunities to your children, the vast majority of that money should go towards their education and not some Wall Street investor. If we do those things, I'm not going to tell you the treasurer is going to turn the state around himself, but if we do those things, we can help putting Illinois back on the right track. Those things I'm committed to. I think they're principles that Democrats understand. And I'll just leave you with a phrase, with a saying It was supposed to be a few St. Patrick's Days ago. So coming off of St. Patrick's Day, it reminds me. I'm going to tell you about an old Celtic saying, and I think might actually be as old as the Bible. But Democrats seem to understand. You know, we've all warmed ourselves by fires we did not light. We've all sat in the shade of trees we did not plant. We've all drunk from wells we did not dig. We as Democrats realize there were people who went before us to make life better for us. And we have an obligation to help look out for future generations, to keep those fires lit, to keep that shade cool, and to keep that water clean. Thank you for everything you do to help Democrats and help Democratic principles. It's been a pleasure speaking to you tonight. I look forward to working with you for many years to come.